Hi there, this is Julie with PhotoFabPaperFlowers, and thank you for watching. We're going to create about a 1 1/4 inch little mini flower or micro flower, so it's smaller than your traditional flowers, ranging anywhere from 2.5 inches to 4 inches. So we're going under 4 or 2 inches to create these flowers. So we're going to be using the Chrysanthemum Mini Flower Bundle, and we're going to use petal 4. So you're going to cut 13 of them according to the size chart at the beginning of this video. There's also linked in the description below is a link to the PDF instruction document with the size chart, and that is available in the PhotoFab Paper Flower Makers group on Facebook. So again, set up the project with the sizes notated in the image in the beginning of this video. Then you're going to cut everything with your favorite cutting machine, and I'm here to teach you how to make it. So thank you for watching. So we're going to use a piece of 18 gauge floral stem wire. So I'm using a much smaller piece just because these are tinier flowers. So this size is great for your 4-inch wood magnets, also any smaller projects, a filler flower, a boutonniere, smaller arrangements. So you're going to place that 18 gauge floral stem wire in between the needle nose pliers, squeeze it and bend it around like a shepherd's hook. Try and make it as small as possible. Now mine got a little bit large. So we're going to place it back in between the needle nose pliers, squeeze it shut, and then I straighten it out. So it did get much smaller. Place it back in between the needle nose pliers and bend it 90 degrees like a corner. For our sepal, we're going to take a piece of 18 gauge floral stem wire. So I always keep a piece or 3 or 5 in an extra container just so you can use them to roll our smaller petals. So place that down in the middle of the petal. I like to go at an angle because I am right-handed. It's going to come in more from the right side, and pinch around. We're going to flip that over. You're going to take your piercing scoring tool, and this is available at your local Dollar Tree in a 2-pack. This is the thicker end. Pierce a hole in the center. We're going to thread that our sepal onto our piece of floral stem wire. Again, I like to use 18 gauge. You're going to add glue to the underside of that loop. I like to use Gorilla hot glue. Thread it, and I try and get it to attach right where there is a sepal petal. And then you're going to set it to the side. You're going to stack the 13 petals. One petal will have 7, and another stack will have 6. Okay, so for the first 7, all we're going to do is lay them out on our flower shaping mat. And we're going to roll the center, except for one. So put your thumb there so you don't roll that. Oops. That one's missing a petal. You can still use it because all flowers are not perfect, but I do have some extra. So number 1, we're not going to roll. Then just roll your metal ball stylus right around where the petals meet the base, and it's going to lift those petals up. So because these are super skinny petals, we don't really need to style our petals at all, which is nice, right? So just add some hot glue. And again, any color this would be beautiful in. It's a nice filler flower. So take your, look at a petal and place it right in between the previous layer. And again, all 13 of these layers are the same size. So just keep rotating it around, and you're going to add those petals in between. And then I like to press with my metal ball stylus to make sure it's secure. Add a dab of glue. And we just keep adding it. It's a nice spiky flower. Ooh, I have glue strings. Add your glue. And look at your petals and place them in between. So for the first 7 layers, oops, you can see she's getting spikier. Now for the last 6, we're going to use our precision scissors and very carefully my petals are going crazy. Oh my goodness. Take your precision scissors. Oh, they got off center again. And we're just gonna make a slight little cut towards the center in between every 2 petals. Very, very tiny, because you don't want to cut off any petals, but you also need your center to be smaller. And by cutting in towards the center, when we roll it with our metal ball stylus tool, it's gonna start to close up our petal a lot more. I'm hoping you can see that. And we're gonna do this to all 6 of these petals. Now you can do them one at a time. Sometimes I get brave and I'll do multiple if I can get them lined up. Every 2 petals. Tiny little cuts every 2 petals. I promise you it's worth the effort. And the precision scissors are just from Dollar Tree, so nothing fancy. just a tiny little sliver. I can't, they're not all even. Don't worry about it. But you can see we have a pretty large center yet to fill up. So either using your embossing stylus, the larger end, or the smallest end of the metal ball stylus, roll right in the center. So either or will work, and I'll show you with both of them. So this is the larger end, right in the center, roll it up. And you're always rolling on your flower shaping mat. Okay, so just take one of them. We're gonna fold it in half. I try and place the petals in between, and then I just kind of fan fold it around. Just messy is fine. Squeeze the bottom together. Add some hot glue on the bottom and around the sides. And now you're just gonna choose another one and place it in the center. And then you just fold up the petals around. And we're gonna continue this for all 6 of these. So you're creating the center from the center out, meaning we created outside the flower, go a little bit around the edge, and then we glue the center into the middle of the flower. And then pull the petals up and around. And we'll just continue to do this again. 2 more. And this will open up once we glue it into the center, you'll see. And this is a great flower for a boutonniere, a filler flower. Now you can make these at a larger size. I would just group all the items in your machine's design space, drag it to the petal size that you want, and you may have to add quite a few extra petals, just so you have it nice and full. And then do about half of them you would cut in between each petal, just like we did at the smaller size. Add glue. Make sure she's standing tall. And we're just gonna let that dry for a moment. And then once I start adding ink to highlight the shape, then we can shape it out. Okay, then on your sepal, add glue in the center on the top, and then just a little bit out the sides, just a tiny bit, because these petals are super skinny. So now you can see the shape of it. So to highlight that, We're just going to add some again of our Vintage Photo Distress Oxide. So Distress Oxide ink works really great for our paper flowers. So it's literally just highlighting the tips. Make sure you come up from the bottom, and then you can also come down from the top. And then that also helps shape the flower. Okay, and then I like to come in with the darker brown. They do complement one another, the Vintage Photo and then the Ground Espresso. And I continually to use my finger dabbers. Brush up, and again, it's highlighting those little tips of the petals. So depending on what color you're using, paper would also depend if you want to ink or not ink, and what color. So it literally just highlights that shape. Now, of course, you can always add ink in the center before you assemble. Again, it all depends on your project. And I did use all the same color on these and the inking. But isn't it a super fun flower on the shape? And she's got a nice little texture to her. So thank you for watching.